Welcome back to the social class, dear students. So this is your second class of lesson 4, Civics, Human Rights and UNO. We have just started this lesson and we have completed till basic characteristics of human rights. Yes, and we need to start from kinds of human rights from here. So we'll see how many kinds of human rights are there. So, kinds of human rights. There are 30 articles incorporated in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, how many articles are there? 30 articles are there. So, 30 articles which is incorporated in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. These rights are broadly classified into 5 primary categories. How many categories? 5 primary categories, and they are: first one is civil rights. So, A point they have given civil rights. Got it? Yes. Civil rights. The term civil rights refers to the basic rights afforded by laws of the government to every person. So, what is civil rights? The term civil rights refers to what? Basic rights which is afforded by the law of the government to every person. So, each and every person has rights, isn't it? This is the right to be treated as an equal to anyone else. This is the right. Which right? Civil right, okay? Civil right is the right to be treated as an equal to anyone else. It includes the rights to life, liberty. Here it includes this civil rights includes the right to life, liberty, freedom from slavery and arbitrary arrest. Okay. Next one is political rights. Second one is political rights. So, what is political rights? Political rights are exercised in the formation and administration of a government. So, what is it? Political rights are exercised in the formation and administration of a government. The civil and political rights are directly related to modern democracy. So, this civil right and political right are directly related to what? Modern democracy. Okay. They protect the individual from the misuse of political power and recognize every individual's right to participate in their country's political process. So, they protect every individual from the misuse of political power and recognize every individual's right to participate in their country's political process. It includes the freedom of expression and peaceful assembly, the right to take part in the government of one's country, the right to vote, the freedom of speech and obtain information. Next, third one is social rights. So, what is social rights? It is necessary for an individual to fully participate in the society. So, each and every individual has the right to participate in any of the event in the society. Got it? Full rights. Okay. Social rights are those rights necessary for an adequate standard of living, including the right to education, health care, food, clothing, shelter and social security. And next, fourth one is economic rights. The right to participate in an economy that benefits all and to desirable work. Economic rights guarantee every person to have conditions under which they are able to meet their needs. This includes the rights to employment and fair wage, the reasonable limitation of working hours, shelter, education and adequate standard of living, and the right to property. And the last one is cultural rights. The right to freedom of religion and to speak the language and to practice the cultural life of the community, the right to share in scientific advancement and right to the protection of moral and material interest. So, that is called as what? Cultural rights. So here they have given a tabular column. What is it? The difference between human rights and civil rights. So difference between human rights and civil rights. So comparison. Okay, we are going to see what are the difference between human rights and civil rights. Got it? Yes. So first one. So first point. Human rights belong to everyone, everywhere, regardless of nationality, sexuality, gender, race, religion or age. So what is human rights? It belongs to everyone. Okay, every human. Okay, everywhere, whatever the place it is. It is regardless of nationality, whatever country they belong to. Okay, sexuality or gender. Okay, they may be male or female or transgender, anything. Okay, and race, religion or age, whatever the age it is, whatever the religion they belong to, whatever the category they belong to. Okay, human rights is equal to everybody, belongs to everybody. When coming to civil rights, civil rights are those rights that one enjoys by virtue of citizenship in a particular nation or state. So civil rights is nothing but those who are having or enjoying in a virtue of citizenship. Okay, we should have a citizenship, that is Indian citizenship or American citizenship. Okay, each and every country has a citizenship, right? So that is called as what? Civil rights. Okay, citizenship in a particular nation or state. Next, coming to human rights, second point. Human rights are considered universal to all human beings and universal in all countries. So human rights is nothing but it's considered in universally all over the world, okay, to all the human beings and universal in all the countries also. When coming to civil rights, the second point, civil rights vary greatly from country to countries or government to government. So it differs, okay, civil rights differs from country to country or government to government. It is related to the constitution. Next, third one, coming to human rights. No nation may rightfully deprive human rights to an individual. And next, coming to civil rights, different nations can grant or deny different civil rights and liberties. Next, last point in human rights. Human rights are basic rights inherent with birth. Civil rights are creation of the society. Got it? Okay. Next. Next, coming to Human Rights Commission, which is in page number 192. Human Rights Commission, the Economic and Social Council, that is this one, ECOSOC, okay, the Economic and Social Council. The principal organ of the United Nations was empowered to set up a commission for the promotion of human rights. So, the United Nations, okay, they have empowered to set up a commission for the promotion of human rights. So, national level and state level human rights commissions were established to ensure the protection of human rights. Okay. Next, National Human Rights Commission, NHRC. What is that? The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC of India, was established on 12th October 1993. It is an independent, statutory and non-constitutional body. So, when it was established, National Human Rights Commission of India was established in the year 1993, October 12th. So, you could see here October 12th, 1993. Okay. Its headquarters is located in New Delhi. Where is it headquarters located? In New Delhi. NHRC is a multi-member body which consists of a chairperson and other members. So it consists of chairperson and other members. Okay. The president appoints the chairperson and other members. So who is appointing here? President is appointing chairperson and other members of this National Human Rights Commission. Okay. They are appointed for 5 years or till the age of 70 years, whichever is earlier. So how many years they are appointed for? 5 years. Okay. So National Human Rights Commission and its members, that is chairperson and other members, are appointed by whom? President, and they are appointed for how many years? 5 years, or till the age of 70 they will be appointed in the position. Okay. Next, NHRC has 5 divisions. So NHRC has how many divisions? 5 divisions. What are they? Law divisions, investigation divisions, policy research and program division, training division, and administrative division. So how many divisions? 5 divisions. What are they? Law division, investigation division, policy research and programs division, training division, and administrative division. The National Human Rights Commission is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India. So National Human Rights Commission, what is it? NHRC. Okay, it is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India. And next, coming to B point, State Human Rights Commission. So far we have seen National Human Rights Commission, and now we are seeing what? State Human Rights Commission. The State Human Rights Commission of Tamil Nadu was formed on 17th April 1997. So National Human Rights was formed in 1993 October 12th, whereas State's Human Rights Commission was formed in which year? 1997 April 17th. Okay. It functions at the state level. So this one functions at the state level. Okay. So it is called as what? State Human Rights Commission. It functions at the state level, right? It consists of 3 members. So how many members it consists? 3 members. It includes, okay, including chairperson. Okay. A State Human Rights Commission can inquire into violation of human rights related to subjects covered under state list and concurrent list in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So okay, this is not in NHRC already inquiring. Okay, this doesn't include National Human Rights Commission. Got it? Next. So they have given a picture here. So chairperson, so retired Chief Justice of India. Okay, so one member who is or has been a judge of Supreme Court. So electing members. Okay. One member who is or has been a judge of High Court. Here 2 members from among us persons having knowledge or practical in matters relating to human rights. So and the last, deemed members, that is chairpersons of the following National Commission. Under that they have 4 divisions. Okay. National Commission of Minorities, National Commission of for Scheduled Caste, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, and last one is National Commission for Women's. So next one, page number 193. Human Rights Organization. So what is Human Rights Organization? Many organizations around the world have taken their efforts to protect human rights and for ending human rights abuses. So National Rights Organization, they have taken their effort to protect the human rights and for ending human rights abuses. Okay. These non-governmental organization, that is we called as NGO, non-governmental organization, excuse me, monitor the actions of governments and pressure them to act according to human right principles. So what these non-governmental organization does? They monitor the action of the government, right? They see whether the government is doing what they have told and pressure them to act according to human rights principle. So the non-governmental organization, they monitor the government, and if they don't do what they have said, they give pressure to them in order to do the things in a proper way. So, human rights principles. Okay. Some of these organizations are Amnesty International, Children's Defense Fund, Human Rights Watch. So, here Amnesty International, Children's Defense Fund, Human Rights Watch. Got it? Yes. And here you could see Indian Constitution article. So, Article 24. What does Article 24 say? It prohibits child labor. Okay? It prohibits what? Child labor. Article 24 of our Indian Constitution tells about prohibition of child labor. Every children should have education. Instead of that, they should not go to any work. Okay? Next, Article 34, subsection F. So, this you should read it as subsection F. You have this in short answer. Okay? Yes. Article 39, subsection F. It provides for children to develop in a healthy manner. So, each and every children should grow up in a healthy manner. Okay? Next, Article 45 provides that the state shall endeavour to provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. So, what they are providing? They are providing early childhood, okay, early childhood care, and they educate all children until they complete the age of what? 6 years. Got it? Okay, so this answer comes in third short answer for you. Starting from here to here, third short answer, Roman letter 6. Got it? Okay. Next, coming to child rights. Okay, children, we'll just stop up to this. Next class, we shall continue from child rights. Thank you and take care.